Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Onboarding and Procurement Made Easier. I'm really excited that we can do this together with Caelor and Krešimir. Thank you for joining, and thank you also that you've joined to this webinar. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a great topic and an even better app or greater app. So I'm really excited to see what you can do with it. We started with a small introduction about who is Caelor, who is Jodocus, what are the speakers today. Briefly talk about Jira Service Management. We did that in the last webinars, a little bit more in depth. So it's just a real brief overview of what Jira Service Management is. Then I'm going to talk about some theoretical stuff. What is IT Asset Management or ITAM? And then we jump right into the Caelor app demo of Shoppie. And then we have a Q&A section. You can ask your questions at any time. All right, short introduction. So about me, I'm Szczepanski, one of the co-founders of Jodocus. I'm still working as a consultant. I'm responsible for the marketing. I'm over 13 years in the market now, working 13 years with the products, 5 years in professional service, in consulting. Started as a project and process manager back then. Eventually became a little bit more agile over the years. And I'm Atlassian certified in various products and also ITSM specialist, specialized in create, deliver, and support. One part of it is the asset management. So I think I know what I'm talking about, hopefully. Jodocus in the snapshot. We founded Jodocus back in 2019 as a what we call cloud-first solution partner. We thought that the clouds will be the new stuff in the future of what is coming back then. And we were right. We're now a platinum solution partner. We are also cloud and ITSM specialized. We have roughly about, I would say not 51, probably 45, 50% employees, and more than 30 partners, which is really important to us, not only because they build great apps, but also they can help us in projects. They have a specific domain knowledge, which we not always have, and where we also can learn and deliver great service to you, right? So that's about me and Jodocus. Krešimir, over to you.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. My name is Krešimir. I'm a product manager at Caelor. I come from Croatia, from Rijeka, born and raised. I have around 4 years of experience in the Atlassian ecosystem. I've always been interested in computers, and I basically live on the internet most of the time. My role at the moment is taking care of Caelor's Jira product. So I'm responsible for Linksy, custom field suite, Shoppie that I'm about to present. And yeah, I strive and my focus is to deliver products that will help people, and I'm listening to my boss.
That's a good days. Maybe you can talk about a little bit more about Caelor.
Yeah, so maybe I'm not the best person to talk about Caelor, but Caelor is founded in 2021. Our boss, but we don't really call him our boss, is Marin Vadvodic. He's a great guy. We've been working together before Caelor was founded, and he's someone I look up to. He basically helped me up to become a product manager. So he's a great guy. We are Gold Atlassian Marketplace partner, of course. So that was our focus, and we are aiming to become a platinum Marketplace partner in the future, hopefully next year or this year even. We'll see. So we have 9 apps on the Atlassian Marketplace. At the moment, we are focusing on Confluence apps like Microsoft ContentWiz, Cosmos, and so on. But we really want to expand on Jira apps as well. So This is what this webinar will be about. We are ISO, whatever you want to call it, certified, of course. So it's really important for larger customers that so that they can trust us and so on. So this is a big thing. Money worked hard for it. And yeah, as you can see in the next slides, our focus is on Jira and Confluence cloud solutions, and Atlassian really likes us for using Forge this much. So yeah, we are having blogs, and we are working on a blog about Shoppie, and they are really supporting us well around the Forge app. Not as much as we would like to, but they are doing their best. So
Jira Service Management, what is it? What can we do with it? I just brought eight top features of Jira Service Management. So Jira Service Management is like Jira software, and a module that adds to Jira Basic, Jira Core, which is now Jira Work Management. And it comes with a self-service portal where you can build different Jira projects, which serves as a portal for various teams like marketing, not only IT, so marketing, sales, office management, or facility management, where people can help themselves via either search within a knowledge base. I mentioned that specifically in the next line, but also where they find what kind of service the service team offers, right? The next thing is automations. Automations can help us reduce repetitive tasks and bring more autonomy to the teams to build their own processes. We still have Jira workflows, which are more the alignment part of aligning teams. But automations is something where teams really can define what they want to do during a process when something happens in the system. With forms, we can build new create screens, new screens to capture things we don't really need as a custom field because we don't need to report them. So it's a really great way to build new create screens. Again, we don't need the Jira administrator for that. So the team can decide how they would like to work. The fourth thing is Opsgenie, which is a product Atlassian acquired around 4 or 5 years ago, which is an incident alert management system. So think of Jira Service Management as the tool that connects people to each other, right? So you can, you as a customer, you can ask questions. There's the service desk agent you could talk to. But what about the systems that sending alerts, like monitoring tools, for example, or Git repositories when something went wrong? So you would like to have those information as well while working on created tickets from the customer to really see the system side, right? Teams can set up SLAs with criteria based on the business requirement. And not only based on Jira issue information, but also from Jira Asset. So you can connect these two worlds with each other and build SLAs to really deliver great service. Knowledge management, you can integrate Confluence with Jira. I heard some rumors that SharePoint will soon follow. I'm really looking forward to that because we do have a lot of customers who use SharePoint or went to SharePoint from Confluence. We do have multi-channel support. What does that mean? It's not only that we have the self-service portal or email. Since 1 or 2 months now, we do have the beta of the virtual bot, which you can install in Slack. Soon Teams will follow. We have widgets you can install on various numbers of websites to get support from there as well. And we have Atlassian Intelligence, which I'm really looking forward to. So that accelerates the way we work with customers. You can ask Atlassian Intelligence whether you would have a JQL query, or if you need to summarize a ticket, imagine you are a support agent and there are 30 or more comments and you just need to jump in. So that gives you the ability to summarize the ticket and what happened. So really great. What kind of processes can we build, or what kind of ITIL processes, let's say, can we build within Jira Service Management? Well, obviously, it's the incident management, right? So where we ensure that services are restored as quickly as possible after an unplanned interruption or reduction of inequality. The second one is the problem management, which is the next step after an incident management, where we try to identify the root cause and where we check if the workaround we built during the change enablement, which is the next process, is okay or not, or if we accept the risk, and where we build up our lessons learned and our, how do you call that, error database, let's say. Request service management, that's the typical stuff we also start with. That I need a new computer, I need a password reset, I need the Wi-Fi password or a guest account, stuff like that. That's service request management. Service level management, mentioned before, ensuring that the organization service are delivered at agreed upon levels. Knowledge management, again, something not only we can display knowledge-based articles, but we also can write them from Jira Service Management. So when there's no solution, either for the customer or for the agent can write a new article, add that to the knowledge management, and it's present in the system so that customers can already read that. And asset management, which ensures that the organization's assets are managed in a central repository. And obviously, when we think about all the apps we have out there, right now I think we have more than 2,000 for just Jira, we can extend the functionalities of Jira Service Management to support other ITIL 4 practices. So what is ITAM or IT Asset Management? Since ITIL 4, the topic of IT asset management has become much more important. In ITIL 2 and 3, it was not really that present. It was just under the hood, let's say. And it's the end-to-end tracking and management of IT assets to ensure that each asset is properly used, maintained, upgraded, and disposed of at the end of its life cycle. ITAM involves using financial, contractual, and inventory data to track and make strategic decisions about IT assets. And the primary goal is to ensure that IT assets are used efficiently and effectively. It also helps optimize costs by reducing the total number of assets in use and extending the life of those we have, and thereby avoiding costly upgrades. And an important part of ITAM is understanding the total cost of ownership and finding ways to optimize the use of assets. So what is an asset? It's any piece of information, software or hardware, that an organization uses to conduct business. And it's not only in the IT department. Let's think of the chair and the tables and the furniture we have. It's about the fire extinguishers, maybe the elevators. Everything we have as an object in our buildings that needs to be managed could be an asset, right? So hardware assets include physical computing equipment, such as physical servers and data centers, desktop computers, mobile devices, laptops, keyboards, printers, stuff like that. So that's more or less an asset. So what's the ITAM process? How would we start typically? The first thing, obviously, is we need to identify the assets. And we have different ways to do that. Either manually, so we do a classical inventory. We go through the rooms and check everything. And then we do an Excel import, or we're using automation tools like Jira Service Management, Asset Discovery. Unfortunately, not every device, like a chair or a table, has an IP address. So we still need to go around and find those information or track those information somewhere. And with that, we have a great foundation of what kind of assets we have. The second thing is the tracking, and this involves using Jira Service Management, for example, to continuously monitor IT assets if we want to. And information collected for tracking each asset includes financial data that the asset costs, for example, the contractual information, so warranty, license, service level agreements, all that kind of stuff we can represent as an asset in Jira Assets, and the inventory data. So where is the location, the condition of physical asset, and so on and so forth. And the last thing is maintenance, which involves the asset repair, upgrade and replacement. So it's the whole life cycle of that. And last but not least, let's talk about some of the benefits we have. First of all, we have a centralized asset database and inventory. There are different ways of thinking about having the central asset database and the source of truth. A lot of people think, okay, when it comes to users, for example, and to authentication, well, that's probably Azure. But yeah, think about the whole process around the user, right? Somewhere he starts, coming from an HR system, will be added to the IT asset management system. So why not triggering Azure Active Directory from your IT service management tool so that this tool becomes the source of truth? Optimized assets use. It leads to efficient use or reuse of resources. Imagine someone's leaving the company and the laptop is still, well, not only working, but it's still in warranty. And it still has a decent amount of, HDD, RAM. So it's still working, right? So why not reuse that one instead of buying a new one? So it really helps us to understand what we have, if we need to exchange it, and thereby we optimize the use of assets. Software license compliances. In preparation for that webinar, I just read an article about that the most spendings is not hardware, it's software. And there a lot of companies actually spend a lot of money to buy software. And it's really hard to buy those softwares because the license catalogs of, let's say, Microsoft is huge, and no one understands that. So we can really make sure that users have the right amount of licenses, the correct licenses, by using an ITAM tool. And overall, we can have an informed decision-making process, right? It helps us with the evaluation of previous purchased deployments, which then informs subsequent action. So ITAM can improve IT asset purchases and business processes. And it also integrates into all the other ITIL 4 processes we just mentioned before. It's part of incident management, of the problem management, of change enablement. Everywhere we need IT asset management systems. All right, so now I would like to know a little bit more about you. And that's the first time actually we try out polls in this tool. So let's see if that works. So first question, if you can see that under polls, there should be a question now, which says, do you have an IT or an asset management system already in place? So 78% already have an ITAM tool. That's great. Cool. How many assets do you have? Is it less than 500, less than 5,000, less than 10,000, 25,000, or even more than 25,000? Interesting, more than 25,000 assets. That's great. Okay. So with any further ado, I will hand over to Krešimir, because he will talk about the onboarding procurement process and how we can improve that. One of the most important processes around IT asset management. So I'm really looking forward to that. I will stop sharing my screen, and Krešimir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jan. So yeah, Jan talked about the importance of assets and asset management, and I'm going to talk about a bit on how to utilize assets and how you can improve your onboarding and procurement experience with Shoppie. So I prepared a few slides just to start off. So I'm going to say a few points about onboarding and procurement challenges that many companies face according to Google. So first off is the delay in equipment procurement. So it's common for there to be delays in procuring necessary hardware, which can hinder the new employee's ability to start working promptly, and it can also impact productivity and cause frustration. Second off is mismatched hardware needs. So it's basically a bit of disconnection between the hardware provided and the actual needs of the role or task assigned to the new employee. So that can also lead to inefficiencies or limitations in the performance of the new employee. And the third point is basically inventory management challenges. So if you're running a company and you do not have an inventory management plan set up, it can also hinder your performances. So keeping track of hardware inventory, ensuring it is allocated correctly, and managing returns or replacements can be challenging. So it can also lead to potential problems and delays in hardware availability. So let's talk about Shoppie a bit and how maybe you could find a use case and how Shoppie could solve your problem. So a few points about Shoppie. Shoppie is made for JSM Premium. So it comes with the premium version of Jira Service Management. It's targeted for large companies, enterprise customers, which utilize assets, of course. Shoppie is built in Forge with the support of Atlassian, making the app future-proof, basically. It's also assets integrated, so with Shoppie is fully using assets, as you will see in a moment. And it basically, as you can see with this part on the right side, it brings a shop experience in the Jira Service Management portal, which is not really seen often today in the Atlassian ecosystem. So the end goal of Shoppie is basically to compete with ServiceNow and other solution partners in Atlassian, but with other companies, so we can bring customers to Atlassian and keep them all in one ecosystem. And the most important part, Shoppie is available for and accessible for all users, so anonymous users, JSM customers for internal use, and so on. So let me show you now how choosing assets usually works in the JSM portal. So here I have a custom field, an assets custom field. As you can see, this is what it looks like basically. It's just a custom field, a drop-down list, and you see a small screenshot here and a picture, and you don't really see much information. So let me show you how Shoppie looks like actually. So Shoppie opens up as soon as you open a request type. So I'm just gonna refer to page. So this is what Shoppie looks like. It basically has everything you would expect in an online shop. You have your categories on the left side, which you can configure, by the way. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same way as it's in assets. You have your categories on the left side. You can expand or collapse the sidebar, of course. You have a few stored items options, which we are working on improving at the moment. You have two different views, a list view. So if you have a bunch of assets, so you can just collapse them and show more information at the bottom, or you have your card view, which I prefer, to be honest. It looks a bit better in my opinion. So of course, if you click on an item, you can see the details view of the item. You can see, for an example, the CPU, the RAM, manufacturer, and so on. If you use the arrows in the top right, you can easily switch the product. So it makes it a bit easier to decide which item you need at the moment. And of course, let's just create an order so you see what it looks like. So we are also utilizing the stock attribute. So basically every item that I add is in stock at the moment. If I open up the main category, you will see that this laptop is out of stock, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. So each item that I add is going to update the attribute in asset that is basically working as a stock management attribute.
Krešimir, it's just one question because you're talking about it. Is it possible to turn off the prices?
It is. Yeah. Thank you for the question. Yeah, let's just create an order. Then I'm going to talk about how you can set up a onboarding catalog, let's say. Thank you, Saskia. All right. So Jan also talked about forms. So here is just an example form we are using. So literal information, shipping address, why do you need this department, and so on. So I'm just going to fill this out really quickly, just for the demo purposes. And once the ticket is created, let me just refresh the page because it takes a while. So a few things are happening when I raise a request. First is the internal comment that's hard-coded in the app. So we are letting the agent know that the request was raised through Shoppie, and we are showing the list of items that were added through Shoppie. And we are also telling the agent or whoever is seeing the request that if he or she clicks on the order button, they can see the product details and the product that was ordered. And the most important part, if you ask me, is the mapping the category to the assets custom field. Because once you choose items, you can also add them to the custom field, as you can see on the right side in the sidebar. And then what you can do is you can use these custom fields for automation rules, which we are also gonna cover in a moment. So how do you set up a onboarding catalog? So Shoppie is split into catalogs, meaning you can create a new catalog for different purposes, for different use cases. As you can see, I have a bunch of them. Different catalogs can be used on the same project or different projects. They can be in the same project on different request types and so on. So to create a new catalog, it's really simple. You just click on create a catalog, you give it a name, a description for internal use. You select a customer portal or a JSM project and a request type. So this is important because when your customers click on that request type, the catalog will open. And here you will also define a currency if you are planning on using a price. So let me show you how this catalog looks like. So when you first create a catalog, you will be prompted to import your assets. This can be done with a few clicks. So let me show it to you real quick, so you don't think I'm lying. So when you first create a catalog, you will be asked to import a schema or add object type manually. So what you can do is just click on an object schema. You will see the same view as you would see in assets, actually. So as you can see, the same object types you see in assets can also be seen in the app. So here you can just check or uncheck the object types you wish to have. And when you click on import, that's basically it. So all of the assets are imported. All that's left is to configure the default attributes and some small details you would like to use. So let me show you how you can set up an employee onboarding catalog. So of course you would import your assets, and to fully configure the catalog, you would let's say if you're using stock, if you are taking care of your inventory, how many items are available, this is going to be important. So we have an in-stock attribute here. So everything you see actually in Shoppie, so everything you see on the portal is basically from assets. So not one piece of information is made up or custom made. So even the details views, the stock attribute, everything you see here is from assets. So if you are taking care of inventory management, this is going to be an important part to map this field to a stock attribute. It has some category detail, like the name, the icon, and so on, which you can change. So it doesn't have to be the same way as it is in assets. And if you do not want your new employee to buy 10 laptops, you can limit the amount of items he can buy or choose to one item selection. And the default attributes, of course, these are used in the backend for calculations about the price. So we can also see which item is being selected and so on. So like just some name, short description of the price. And Saskia asked, you do not have to select this attribute if you don't want to. So it can be free. Once that it's set up, if you go back to asset, then you will see all of your items here as well. And you can switch between a single item view, catalog view, just to like go through it. If you see, okay, this is configured correctly, something is wrong, and whatnot. And of course, if you really want to use Shoppie to the fullest, I recommend setting up the details view. So in here, using assets attribute, you can basically provide a details view of all the items, and all of the options you see here are actually the same in assets, as you can see. So the screen size, CPU, RAM, storage, manufacturer, all of the stuff in details view is also in assets. So that's basically how you will set up a employee onboarding catalog. And now let's talk what is happening behind the scenes when I create a new request. So let's say I just joined Caelor, and I don't know, I'm looking at what to buy, like what to choose from all of these items. Let's say we don't have a price, we can choose whatever, but yeah, this catalog is set up with a price. So for my needs, this Mac would be more than enough. So let's say I take this MacBook for now, and let's just create the request. So next up, I'm gonna talk about automation rules, because you can use automation rules with Shoppie, and they will give you the fullest experience of the app, basically. So I created a request. The agent is notified about the request. He or she sees the internal comment. The laptop is added to the custom field that it's mapped to, which is great. So a few things are happening now. If I open up asset, you will see that in the employee hardware, a new asset is created, which is basically assigned to me. You can see the start date, so when I ordered it, and you can see the model of the item that I chose. So this is basically used when someone buys or selects a new item. You can keep track of that item and see who is using it, at what time was it ordered, and so on. Later on, when the item is ordered, you can input the serial number, the purchase date, and so on. You can also input the purchase date immediately. All right. So when let's say resolve this issue, so the order is complete, the user received the item, and so on, what is going to happen is a internal ticket will be created. Let me just refresh the page. And in this automation rule, this internal ticket is basically used for, let's say, keeping track of the item in use. So it's open at the moment, but you can also put it in progress or whatever. So what's gonna happen if I resolve this ticket, the MacBook that I am currently using? So this is sort of a offboarding use case as well. So if I close this ticket, one important part I forgot about this inventory management. So if you're using the stock attribute in assets, each item that you choose or select has a stock attribute, which is a integer type value. So let's say, so before I created the request, this was 4. So the amount of items available was 4. When I chose one laptop, the amount of items went down by 1. So this is why the stock attribute is so important, and this is why it makes so much sense. It's not only just for show, it actually works with assets. So as soon as you choose an item, the stock attribute will go down by 1. And let's say this laptop is in use at the moment, so I'm still working, and I don't know, for some reason I am either choosing a new laptop or I'm leaving the company, and an agent closes the issue, let's say puts it to done. So ideally, I'm not an automation expert, so let's hope this works well. Ideally, this stock attribute should go up by 1. It'd be great. Yeah, and this is basically a offboarding use case as well, or if you're changing your laptop or device hardware, software as well, licenses or whatever. So it can be fully automated if you're using Shoppie as well. So you don't have to worry about that as long as you know what you're doing, basically. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I covered everything at the moment. I can go into detail about the automation rules. They are quite simple. Basically, as soon as some value changes for status, or when an issue is transitioned, you basically manipulate the attribute or the object in asset. You can find all of these automation rules in our documentation, which is public, of course, about Shoppie. So yeah, I talked a lot. I think I covered the whole onboarding part. So I'm interested if anyone has any question.